There was a time not all that long ago when men and women of goodwill were able to speak their minds, to say what they believed without fear of persecution or prosecution. A time when grown men could talk openly about their love of weenie spaghettis, potted meat, and even bit-o' honeys. Oh, come on. Who actually likes bit-o' honey? That's a step too far. But I digress. It's time again for these two fools. This is Dave and Juan.
And 3, 2, 1.
Back at it.
Hey, what up, homie?
Not my sleep.
Yeah, true. A couple of old guys. Busy week, man. Good week.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
Good week. Before we get to it, hi, everybody. How are you? I'm Dave.
I'm Juan.
And this is Dave and Juan.
Much
Open up. Yeah, back at him. In the daytime. We're doing this in the daytime. Not yet in the daytime. I'm drinking a soft drink today. I was like, wow, not used to do. Normally, when we do these things, it's toward the end of the day. It's about the last constructive thing I do that I do that day.
For me, it's mostly the first constructive thing.
I was about to say constructive being a relative term.
That's right.
But yeah, midday, because we had to reschedule. Even though we both had busy weeks, I mean, I was all over. I was dang near another country this week, all over the place. But we had to reschedule because Mr. Juan.
That's right.
Is he's a comedian connoisseur.
Well, I wouldn't go to that.
Wouldn't go that
level.
far, right?
I went to see Dave Chappelle and Joe Rogan in New Orleans last night. Yeah, it didn't get out till close to midnight, which meant it was 2:00 by the time I got home. And so people started calling me at 8:00 this morning. And man, come on, I got to get some sleep at some point.
That's true. That was last night. You did that last night. Oh man, I don't. Chappelle sort of like the Guns N' Roses of comedians, right? Guns N' Roses was infamous for that. Mm-hmm. It's because their days don't start till about 8:00. Yeah, right. I mean, they barely. But I'm sure it was a good. There was a good show.
Good. It was packed. They said it was the largest crowd ever for an event at the Smoothie King, and so
really
it was sold out. Yeah. I'm not.
I would know why. I know why. So I'm guessing it was sort of. Was it in the round?
You fit more seats on the floor that way.
You can put more people in there. Yeah. So you just So wow, that's interesting.
It was getting in was an event because you've got to show this proof of this, proof of that. And then you're not supposed to bring a phone in.
I remember.
So okay, well, I don't have anything on, in paper, and I've been vaccinated, but I couldn't find the card because why would I ever need the card?
They were checking vaccine stuff. Wow! I'm sure I forgot it's New Orleans. Yeah. Okay, because New Orleans runs everything so tight.
Yeah,
well.
Exactly. So this is, and you had to mask up. But outside that they were given Rogan masks and Chappelle masks away.
So I thought Louisiana lifted the mask mandate.
Well, Louisiana did, but Her Highness in New Orleans.
Oh my gosh,
has not quite moved on that. But
dude, I got to give a speech. I got to give a speech in New Orleans in like 10 days, I think. Not a little over 10. It's soon.
This is what I will tell you.
I'm dreading going to New Orleans right now.
Yeah, it's there are a couple other comedians before Rogan and Chappelle, and one of them said it's so nice to be able to see so many unmasked faces. So that's how many people follow the deal. It's okay, I'll wear my mask to walk in the door, and then it's gone.
Well, good for them. Good for them. I'm that way on the plains now, man. I was, but I kind of got on the subject. We'll get back to it after.
Yeah.
So the show,
the show is good. And I follow Joe Rogan. I don't listen to Chappelle a ton. I hadn't seen his new special. My son wanted to go, and it had been delayed a couple of times because of COVID and other things like that. But so it kind of came up just all of a sudden, and he was able to come in from Alabama and said, "Yeah, so let's go." But so I was going at it almost cold from both of them.
Right.
Rogan was great. Just well polished, funny, tight.
He takes it serious, man. That's how Rogan takes everything, and that's why his podcast is so does so well. Even though they're long, right? He basically started. I don't know if he started that format, but that 3 hour, and if he really likes somebody, it goes even longer.
Wow.
But so think about this. This is a guy that's talking to some of the most interesting people in the world several times a week, right? So you get polished. He talks about being very serious about his, comedy. So it's he knows his routine. He gets it down. He practices it. So
it was tight. It was,
it's like the band that, right? I mean, it's so I kind of figured that when you said Rogan, and then what about our boy Dave? What's
to do your band analogy? Chappelle was, Rogan was tight, like he knew his set. Chappelle was funny, but it was almost like a band that comes up and figures it out as they're going along.
Yeah, we're gonna do some jazz. Now, how about you don't?
Right.
How about you don't? Yeah, how about?
And it's just random. Started chatting to an audience or a couple in the audience and asked if they were married and said they were engaged, and you knew it wasn't a plant.
Right.
But so then for the next 10, 12 minutes, he's on that.
That's just eating time. That's just eating time. And you can't do, I'm sorry, I don't care who you are. You can't do that in front of 15, 16, 20, however many thousand people. That's a club. That's the kind of stuff you can do in a club where you feel like you can see the people he's talking to, right?
Right.
Now here we are. There's a guy that made $20 million in his last Netflix special and better. So, I mean, but I think that's what's happened. I think that's what's happened. When Chappelle came back a few years ago for the first time in a long time, man, that special was tight. It was good. It was funny. I remember saying that's brave because he came back, right? It was sort of one of those perfect storms of everybody was afraid. Everybody's getting canceled. People talking about comedy. You can't do comedy anymore. And Chappelle came back and just, I mean, put probably a literal and a figurative middle finger in their face and said, I'm doing, and it was brilliant. Now, I think he's made all that money back that he lost walking away from his special, and he's making so much money. And so many people have called him, he's the greatest, he's this, he's that. And I think it starts showing that I think he's bored. I think he's bored.
Yeah, and it was, like I said, he had funny parts, but it was low energy, not tight at all, where you see, a set going from, here to there. One thing about Rogan, it's almost like he had a callback at the end of something he talked about at the beginning, and his final line was connecting back to that. Using some language that, I can't or choose not to share here.
Yes.
There was a lot of that last night.
Oh, sure.
With a lot of words that other people can, somehow say.
Right. There's a list. There's a list of things you can say. There's a list of things you can't even repeat.
Right. Not even, if it's a song lyric.
It's like, nope, gotcha.
Yeah. So a lot of those type of words.
Good deal.
But it was, all in all, it was good. Other than, and again, I guess this ages me.
Lots of things ages. So I don't know how this.
But there were some guys that walked in to sit behind us, and it was closer to when Rogan was coming on when they came in. But they had obviously been partying a lot before, because
it happens.
The fumes were reminding me of the old days at the concert when when you didn't know what you were smelling, but you figured that's what it was. Well, these guys were breathing it on me, and I'm sitting down saying, man, I'm gonna get high from just this guy breathing out. So they were having a little fun as well.
How you guys enjoying the show?
There's a show.
Yeah, they do sell they do sell drinks there, right?
Yeah, like $14 for a Miller Lite in a can.
Just dude. Yeah, I know. They typically try to make it look like you're getting some kind of bargain because it's an extra big one, right? You know, it's
16 instead of 14.
Yeah. Oh man, that's worth the. Oh, I know. It's well, whatever. It's supply and demand.
Yeah. Well, you had a lot going on this week too.
It was a good week. A long good week. It brought me to Minnesota again.
Same part of the town or same part of the state?
Not really. Different. I was on the shores of Lake Superior. I was in Duluth. Right. And apparently that is where Duluth Trading Company started. That's the it's not where the headquarters is, but they're apparently one of the original whatever's there. And but yeah, up in Duluth, and thankfully, I even thanked the bank that brought me up there. It's a bank, but it's more like a holding company. Why that matters, I don't know. Just a bunch of people there. But I thank them for getting me up there before hard winter kicks in.
Yeah,
it was in the 30s, right? So I mean, that's not terrible, but the wind coming off of Lake Superior, and I
think it's always cold.
Well, okay, remind me to circle back to that because I ended up having a great conversation with the bartender, which that's another story, but was telling me he sails, young guy that sails, and he talks about that. You can get hypothermia in Lake Superior in July, August, because of the way the currents go and depending on the way the wind is blowing. When the wind's blowing a certain way, the water will be 40 degrees.
Wow.
In the summer, man. And then it could, if the wind's coming another way, it might get to 70, right?
Which is still cold for water.
Well, but it is. That's
cold for me for water.
It's not instant hypothermia. Let's put it that way. But no, man, it was good. It was good. And what was funny was, so I had to take 3 flights to get there. I guess I didn't have to. I chose to because to be able to land in Duluth, because I figured, man, it'd be a long day. I knew there was a slightly better than average chance that I may have a couple during this long day of airports and I just
pass your time some kind of way.
That's right. I can maybe do some work. I could do something constructive, or I can knock a couple back on a plane.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do. So I don't want to land and have to drive or anything. So I'm just going to land in Duluth International Airport and get an Uber or a Lyft, right? So I get there about 7. We land a little after 7 o'clock.
Did you feel like you were in an international environment?
It was about the size of a Buc-ee's. It was about the size. Yes, it was a nice airport. It's pretty. But yeah, you can see from one end to the other. I mean, it's just one little terminal.
Well, technically, they probably have a flight that goes into Canada.
Got to, dude. You can see Canada. I mean, it's like right. It's like I say, you can see Canada. I don't know, but yeah, no,
that makes them
international, bro. So so I get out and I'm tired. I mean, my day started at 4. I think at 4 o'clock. So I leave my house around
AM, right?
AM, bro. A in the AM, bro. Because my flight out of Houston was at 7, and you just can't play around with. And I knew if I miss the first flight, I'm in a mess. So I get up at 4, pulling out at 4:45. Oh, by the way, I had another possum encounter.
Oh, wow.
At 4:30-ish in the morning, because the cat wants to go outside. And she comes in and out, and we let her all day long, but she wakes up, she wants to go outside. And I'm like, oh, come on, cat, because you're not going to be banging. So I open the door, let her outside. As I open the door, there's a possum on our basketball court back here at our house. And I like possums. They're kind of cute. It may still be the baby that it's bigger now, right? So
could be just coming back to visit.
Well, might still live here. Hang on a sec here. Well, that's another thing. Remind me to talk about later on. I don't know what bot got my phone number.
I get a lot.
Dude, I'm getting tons. So anyway, this possum, adult possum, not huge, but they're just walking around I can watch it, south, walking around the basketball court. I'm like, oh, it's kind of cool, like the possum. And the cat, I'm talking to the cat because I am Dr. Doolittle. Like, man, cat, don't go near that possum. I don't
talk to the animals.
I got to go get on a plane. If you get into a fight with a possum, I'm sorry. You're going to bleed out right here. I'm going to have to wake my wife up and say, hey, bring the cat in because I got to go. So the possum sees me, possum gets scared. So it runs off into the, we got like these big elephant ear plants. And so the back of my yard's pretty like stuff can hide. I could have a freaking puma back there hiding. I wouldn't know it. I don't think I do. But so I hear
but it's a possibility.
I hear the possum run in there and I can hear rustling. So I'm thinking, man, this possum is hiding or doing something. And all of a sudden I see it come on out. And the funny thing about a possum, they're kind of cute. They do not run fast. No. Most animals in the wild, I mean, it's shocking how fast animals are when animals want to get. Not a possum. Possum. That's why they roll over, right?
Right.
They got it figured out.
Yeah.
Possum's got it figured out. Say, bro, I can't.
See, that's about the defense I would take. Yeah,
I ain't running. That possum was playing Juan. Yeah. So it just anyway. So this possum comes all of a sudden coming back out. Man, there's something behind it. It's another possum. I guess maybe a slightly bigger possum. I don't know. But the second possum did not like the fact that the first possum went running in there.
Well, so the second possum probably thought this looks like a good place to hang out. Somebody else had the idea. Beat you to it. Look. So, you've seen all the time. You've seen squirrels chasing squirrels. You see that nonsense all the time. I've never seen one possum chasing another possum. And I'm standing there again. Now it's like 4:35 in the morning. I got to head off to the airport. I'm trying to keep my cat's fascinated. My cat's like, I'm just, I'm talking to the cat saying, man, stay out of the way. So these possums are sort of just like, and it's so funny to watch because they're sort of chasing each other, but they're not fast. So it's like it's a slow motion. Right. It's like that walk race.
It's like, all I need is Snoop Dogg narrating this, right? So they go around, and then one of them, and I start feeling bad for the possums getting chased. Like the anti-bully kicks up in me. So as they come around, it starts heading toward me, and I let the first possum sort of get by me, and the other possum's like 10 feet behind. So I kind of step in. I decide to I'm gonna cover the first possum. And then I realized possums, I don't think have very good eyesight. So this second possum apparently is just coming at me, and he doesn't know it's coming at me. It's just, and I'm just like, hey.
Waking up your neighbors.
At 4:35 in the morning, I'm outside playing Wild Kingdom. And thankfully the possum stops and just just kind of looks up at me like, turns back around and just, kind of shuffles off.
Mosey's going back.
Yeah, now this other possum that I just saved, no thank you, no nothing,
nothing. Rude.
No turn around saying, thank you, Dave.
He'll expect you to do it again.
Look
a lack of gratitude in the world.
Look down at the cat, and I think the cat was well entertained. The cat was just like,
all right.
What happened here? All right. Yeah. So then I thought just my dad, but that's not what I was talking about. I just want to get the possum story out of the way. So I get to Duluth. I get out there.
I totally forgot you went to Minnesota.
There you go, man. Dude, I put a pin in it, bro. I'm coming back. I'm coming back to it. So I get there and I go through, and it's kind of cold, but it's nice. I'm going to suck up some 30-something, 40-degree weather. Walk outside, pull out my phone. We do a lift. Enter it. Be done in 7 minutes. Oh, damn, great. I'm impressed, hit it. And I'm waiting, little thing spiraling. All right. We're searching for a driver. All right. Here we go.
Yeah. What happened at 7 minutes?
Duluth, Minnesota. Yeah. And then it went to like about 12 minutes. I'm like, okay, well, maybe they found somebody, and you just boom, and then that just keeps spinning. And then after about, 5-10 minutes of watching it say searching for a driver, you realize ain't nobody there, bro. There ain't no drivers anywhere. So you go cancel. And it immediately let you cancel. And I'm thinking, because normally it's like they give you all kinds of things. Like, are you sure? Are you sure? Yeah. This time it was like, yeah, thanks, man. We want to come and get you anyway, bro. That's good. Like, all right. So I got to get a cab. Think again. Ain't no cabs. None. Zip. Ain't a cab. When I got there, there may have been 3 or 4 cars picking people up. They were gone. It was like empty street. Nothing. Cab. Damn. All right. And the hotel's like about 7-8 miles away. So I ain't going to walk
that.
Yeah. I ain't going to walk it. I walk back inside, find an airport employee. Say, I don't know what to say, man. I'm trying to get out of here. He said, oh, look, go on the wall. Like it was literally a printed out piece of paper on the wall. There's a list of taxi cabs, taxi cab companies. Okay. So I go start calling. None of them answered the phone.
Gosh. And what time is this?
This is only, man, like I probably started doing this around, I don't know, 7:15, 7.
You would think at an airport.
Dude, I know. So, man, I'm 30 minutes into this now. I'm 30 minutes into trying to get a ride to get out of Duluth Airport. As it turns out, on this list was the hotel I'm going to. Nice place, Pier B Resort. Nice place. So, they might have a shuttle. Let's call them. Nice lady answers the phone. Said, yeah, my name's Dave Martin. I got a reservation with you guys tonight. I apologize. I'm trying to get to you guys. I can't get there. I said, there's no Uber and whatever's not picking up. There's no cab. She goes, oh, I know. It's terrible. It's so hard to get a ride. She says, we have a shuttle, but it's not here right now. She's on something else, but I'll put it down there and we can get out to you in about 20 minutes. All right. I told her, I got no options. I'll be here. And I'm just laughing, thinking, man, the joys of travel. So I go back inside slightly because it was too cold to be outside. I dig in my bag. I get a protein bar. I'm sitting there leaning up on a wall, eating a protein bar, exhausted, waiting for my shuttle. We're like 40 minutes into this now, just trying to get out of the airport. Get a call back. Yeah. So unfortunately, the shuttle can't pick you up. But look for a grayish Jeep. A grayish Jeep. Mary's going to pick you up. Mary's going to pick me up. All right. So what am I looking for now? I'm looking for a gray. Hey, you don't really tell me what to look for because anything that pulls up, I'm probably going to get in. Right. It's like, it's not like I had options. And that was another 15, 20 minutes. And she finally got there. And it turns out it was one of the managers of the place.
It's like, all right. Mary.
I was impressed. I was actually impressed. It was like she apparently had overheard that, they had
stepping up to the plate.
So, and she was, great, fantastic conversation. I learned all about Mary. She used to live in Florida for a bit. She has a son that lived in Bali for a while. It's funny. People you just sit down and just start. Next thing you learn everybody's life story. You learn their background. You learn their politics. You learn their religion. You learn everything, man. It's just like, But that was, so Duluth's a lovely place. Not easy to get into. Not real easy to get out of either. Just lining up a cab because
was it easier to get back to the airport?
Only because I worked it like a lot. I the second or third cab company I called the night before to line up a 4:30 a.m. cab, I think, because my next flight was at 6 a.m. It was 2 days later. But yeah, man, it was. I'm complaining. Back in the radio days, we're up at that time. But
yeah, but you're a lot younger.
But was it? But that day, that was an interesting day because that day started off. Like I said, I started off my day, alarm going off at 3:45 in the morning.
And when did you fly back?
I flew out on a Monday. I flew back on a Wednesday. And
then you went somewhere Wednesday night.
Yeah, that was interesting. So while I'm sitting on a plane to connect in Atlanta on the way out there on Monday, my phone rings. And like I said,
that seems like a logical path.
Well, I flew Delta. So I went. I think
Delta
from Houston. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They say anybody dies, and if they say anybody in Atlanta that dies and goes to hell, they got to go. They go through the airport. It's like it's yeah. It was Houston to Atlanta to Minneapolis to Duluth. But while I'm sitting on the tarmac in Atlanta, my phone rings. And like I said, I almost didn't answer it because all the junk calls I'm getting. And I looked down, I recognized the name. It was a buddy of mine. Anyway, he says, Dave, were you in town? I'm like, well, I'll be back on Wednesday. You think on the way back from the airport, you can swing by Minute Maid Park? I'm like, oh, why is that? And my friend we got one more. We got one seat left in the suite. Do you want to come see Game 2, the World Series?
Nice.
I know. I'm like, and I knew I'd be exhausted, but it's like, I ain't never been to a World
you
Series.
Can't pass that up.
No,
man.
You can't. And it was fantastic. It was great. It was and delayed flights coming in because they had that bad weather that came through Louisiana last week. So we flew around that, dude. I came back from Atlanta through North Arkansas.
Oh man.
To come down. Yeah. They added like an hour to the flight to get around that nonsense, but got in time and I got to go be big time in a suite in the you got to learn how to act. Of course, it was a bunch of good folks though. I was great. It was good. It wasn't, I wasn't in the they weren't passing out the Grey Poupon in the
but yeah, you gotta wonder. I saw someone posted a guy I know from Atlanta. and he was saying like seats on the baseline seats, I guess is were like $2,500 a pop. So I can imagine what it would go for to get in the suite for the World Series.
You can't. Well, you really can't, because these are just companies that have them, right? I mean,
so they have them
for the whole year, and so yeah. My flight now was interesting. So I made it a point to wear a Houston Astros hat on my flight back from Duluth. So when we connected in Atlanta, I mean, I was the one Atlanta. I mean, I had a couple people get on the plane, and I was fortunate. I was sitting toward the front. A couple of folks got on Astros, right? Because they were him. Everybody else was like a sea of Atlanta Braves, but they were cool. They were in a good mood. They'd won the first game.
Yeah.
And man, they were going down there. They had so many people on that plane that were going to the game that didn't have tickets. They were making announcements on the plane saying, we got a gentleman here said he needs one ticket. He's willing to pay just about anything for anybody with an extra ticket. And I'm thinking, who was on the plane going down there with an extra ticket? Right?
Somebody's got a lot of money, maybe.
But yeah. So the guy sitting next to me was a big Braves fan, and but he was showing me the tickets, and the cheapest you could get in Atlanta for Game 3, which is we're actually recording this on a Friday, so the Game 3 is tonight. The cheapest nosebleed is $1,000. Wow. I know. It's like, I mean, I like it, but and I enjoyed the heck out of myself. It was probably the best baseball live, one of the best. I think I had a couple of those pretty good before, but like it was really cool to be at a World Series. But I can't even imagine what that ticket would. You'd laugh at the food too. I walk in, and you just gotta love when people that I guess people with means have a spread for a baseball game. We had everything from, of course, open bar, of course. They had lobster tails. That's where it started. They had lobster tails. They had some kind of sushi. They had chicken, big thing of chicken tenders. And then they had burgers, good burgers, like Smash Brother kind of burgers, hot dogs, nachos, big tray with peanuts, popcorn, Cracker Jack, the whole baseball thing. I was just like, man, I'm taking I'm such a, I'm buying me, bro. I'm taking pictures of the food. I'm like,
Instagram.
Yeah, I want to remember this, man. Look at this. It was good. And we and the Astros won big. Come to find out.
I checked. I'm not a baseball fan. My favorite time of baseball season is always right after the World Series ends.
Nah, man, come on. I like the play. I like the World Series. I'm not a huge. I enjoy baseball. It tends to be too long, right? But it's exciting and to be there live it's crazy. It's a different animal.
I certainly would have gone.
Different animal altogether. Just the volume, that's all great. And then come to find out, it's weird. So I'm again, nice, sweet. The Astros owner was in the adjacent suite. It'd be like going to a Saints game back in the day. No, that's Tom Benson. I mean, that's what. So in other words,
it wasn't a minor location for your suite. It was probably pretty.
It was pretty good.
Prime.
It was. It's pretty nice. It wasn't terrible. It was how can behind home. I guess not directly behind home plate, but I guess it's a better angle. But hey, there you go. So there you go. Bayou Boy got to play big time there for a bit, but
play it well.
Good week, man. There you go. Couple of old guys. We had a busy week.
Yeah, I'm exhausted.
Next week, what are we gonna do? Talk about how tired we are.
We have it's swim meet weekend, or it's a city meet. So I was there today, and we got to go back tomorrow. So it's I hate when I already have plans, but
that's all right, man.
Other things. No, they
your daughter's quickly becoming the
the
beast of Baton Rouge, man.
She's there, man.
Her mom must have fantastic genes.
Must. Because I've said this before, it's certainly not my athleticism.
Maybe you're buoyant.
And
buoyant. Is buoyant or buoyant?
I don't know. It's
buoyant sounds better.
Yeah, but you say a buoy.
Buoy. It's not buoyant. Buoyant. Buoyant.
I'm fat, so I float. But she set her best time in everything today. So
Dang.
Yeah. But when I got there, they said, "Do you want to be a timer?" I said, "Well, I don't want to be, but if you need me, I guess I can."
They don't let you time your daughter's.
No, they don't care. They don't.
They don't care
because you're just the backup timer. They've got an electronic timer.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, you're the backup.
And I had my best outing as a timer today because I only screwed up on 2. I get distracted sometimes and like forget to start.
Oh,
that sucks.
Sucks for you. Yeah, you're at a different level right now. Well, I'll say that. So my kids they weren't that age. They were younger. So it was competitive swim back in the day. And my boys, God bless them. They were never, they weren't setting those records. They were part of the team. Right. But I got pulled in myself, man. I couldn't. Too much pressure, man.
Right. And it's like, I got to hit this and hit that. And then I got to write it down.
I'll referee a basketball game. No problem. I'll ref a football game. I don't think I ever umpired. I don't think I ever umpired a baseball game. But, a refereeing basketball, do that like breathing. I'm fine. I can do that, but man, just to stand there with a, and you just know.
Because some of these things last like 6 minutes. Yeah. Like a 5. And I'm like, man, I'm like lost by that point.
And then one time they had me being the starter. Oh man, that's not right. And then
you don't want me anywhere near that.
On your marks. Yeah. That's all. It's not quite the pressure of calling bingo and Raceland back in the day. Because nobody was smoking and drinking and cursing at you, but close, man.
As kids, you don't want to disappoint them. Then, I got a new pair of tennis shoes the other day. And so, because I didn't think I was time, and I got that. And it's like, hey, stop splashing my shoes, man. New shoes. I mean, I'm not getting close.
You could have just taken them off. The barefoot
chilly. Yeah.
The barefoot judge.
Well,
you swimming outdoors?
No, but it's open. I mean, the sides of the place are open. Otherwise, you die of fumes of chlorine.
Yeah. This is true. Yeah. I can attest to this from the gym. Our gym has Lifetime's got a big pool. Oh, you walk in there like, and the scary thing is when you're in there for like a minute or so, you don't smell it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll tell you like, that's those eating away at your nasal passages, dude. you ain't got the COVID. You've been in the chlorine too long. All right, so I think we've covered
the animals, we've covered the travels, and we've covered events.
We didn't do events. We didn't do. I don't know if we have food to talk about this week or not. So we'll see if that one. But
you had lobster.
Yeah, well, there you go. We got that covered, and we also were chatting before about automotive
problems. It's my truck started giving me some problems. I guess a week or two ago, where it just randomly, dies. If you're pulling up at a stoplight, it'll just die.
Pause. Now you haven't been resetting the oil.
No,
light on that one like your wife.
It's got oil in it.
That was a previous episode for those of you that missed it. Juan hit the reset button on the oil until the engine block cracked. But hey, that's not what's going on.
I just hit it. I didn't. Anyway, wasn't my job. That's not what's going on with this one. But the check engine light's been on for a while, which is when I had to get my inspection tag on the black market because it can't pass inspection because of the I don't want to go deal with that. And so I told him, I said it might be something to do with that. Well, then the first place I go to is a Goodyear place. I don't have a regular mechanic, so to speak. And first the guy gets mad, and he tells me I have to put a mask on, and so I said, well, let me go see if I have one in the truck. So I go back outside, but he follows me outside. And I'd call them before and tell them what was going on. He told me like $100 diagnostic fee. And I said, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, standard. And so I tell him what's wrong with it. And he says, is it doing it all the time? I said, well, if it was doing it all the time, it would be dead, and it wouldn't be here. It's killing.
Right. You saw what I drove in, right?
And he said, "Oh, I don't have the equipment to do that. Then, to check that,
I don't have."
I said, "Well, isn't this like a mechanic shop too?" Yeah. I said, "All right, well, never mind." I don't know if he was just ticked off at me because I didn't have a mask and went in and infected his space. But so I go to another place that I've been to, and they've worked on stuff for me before. And I'm bringing it in, and they call me back the next day, and it's a battery. And I said, the battery, that doesn't seem like, it would just make it stall out while it's running. It's well, it can if it's but
it's possible.
Yeah, but your battery's dead, and for us to do a diagnostic on it, you have to have a battery. So you need a battery. So I said, all right, that's fine. Whatever, put a battery in it. Then they call me, and all they do is freaking run the code off of the check engine light stuff. And this is, I knew that what it was. It was the guy who called me telling me, you're having some problems with your catalytic converter. And I said, yeah, I've been having that for a while. And he said, well, I think it's catching up to you, and blah, 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 blah. And I said, all right, well, I'm not. Yeah. He said, well, we can't fix that anyway. So
you pick some winners, dude.
Yeah, but so then I go to pick it up. And he's basically advising me to find somebody who can just rip it off. Just take it off and do a bypass. So
hey, listen, you did that for your brake tag. What the heck?
Yeah, it's like, hey, I got that. So I call my dad.
They can size you up. Yeah.
I call my dad and said, hey, call that broom guy in Bankerville and ask him if he can, bypass my catalytic converter. But so anyway, when I go there, I'm talking to the guy. The mechanic comes out now, not the guy in the front, the mechanic, and he's telling me, what I need to do when I change my Cadillac converter. And you change a Cadillac, your Cadillac converter, you want to make sure you change the Cadillac intake and the outtake. Yeah. And I'm sitting here saying, I'm taking advice from you.
Yeah, man.
But a Cadillac converter.
Cadillac converter, bro.
Yeah. It's like, hey, it's a Nissan, man. Why would I want a Cadillac converter?
Yeah. Well, if it was, this was in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was somebody,
find a good like shade tree mechanic is what I need.
If it was down to buy you, just like if you'd figured, okay, they know what they're saying. They're saying it wrong. It's just They've been calling. Dude's been calling it a Cadillac converter
because everybody else says Cadillac converter,
and they know what he's talking about. Yeah. Nobody's calling him on it. So there you go. So. Found this article today. I think it's on LinkedIn. So I don't know if you use LinkedIn or not.
A little bit.
Yeah, it used to be better than it is. I don't. It's become almost Facebook for business.
Yeah, people for business people.
Yeah. But it's worse. I mean, people put stuff on there now. It's not about. It used to be just purely about business and stuff, and now it's a bunch of personal stuff. But anyway, so I'm looking at this thing that's posted, and it was either liked by Nicholls State University or something by Nicholls State. So I look at it, and it's a story about, or a column about Thibodaux. Nice. So it's a promotional positive Thibodaux piece. I'm like, well, okay, that's sort of cool. So I let me click on this thing, and let me start reading what it says. And in the first paragraph, not of the column, but like in the blurb, it said something. I went, oh, that's a mistake. Okay, they copy pasted the wrong thing, right? So I click on the article. Let me see this thing, and I'll give you it's a Business View magazine, whatever. That sounds made up. Business View magazine. Okay, so and it says interviews. I guess the mayor's name is Tommy Eshte, I guess. Okay, 4-hour focus on growth, and I'm just at the beginning of it and economy. Anyway, so you'll love this. This is how this article. You can tell a lot of deep research into Thibodaux went into whoever wrote this thing. It said, sitting pretty along the banks of Bayou Lafourche. So far, I'm with you. The charming city of Thibodaux, Louisiana, is replete. Now, I don't like that word. I know it's a word. I know it's right.
It's a word that most people in Thibodaux would never use.
Have you ever used the word replete in your life?
No.
Besides right now to make fun of it? No. Anybody that's talking to me that uses the word replete, I mean, I don't care where I'm at. I could be in the middle of a professional, a PhD talking to me, and they'd say replete. I'd be like, bruh, really?
Yeah, I'd just say what I had just said before, because I would be thinking that they said repeat, please.
Replete. Anyway. So it's replete. It's a word, but only Fonchocks use that. That's a Fonchock word. Replete. All right, Fonchock. All right. So replete with beautiful monuments, recognizing its rich heritage. I don't know what the monuments are, but I'm sure there's some beautiful monuments. Huh?
Maybe graves. I don't know.
I don't know. But hey, dude, whatever it is, it's replete with replete with beautiful monuments recognizing its rich heritage. Here's my favorite part. And inviting white sand beaches and lush parks for the nature lover in all of us.
Peltier Park, bro. They got some white sand under the monkey bars.
Dude. I
was in Thibodaux yesterday. I didn't see any beaches.
Man, listen, I posted.
Maybe I was replete.
I wasn't trying. You might have been. I wasn't trying to be even smart aleck. I answered on the LinkedIn thing. I think I might have been the first comment on that saying, nice article. I actually have a house in Thibodaux.
Yeah.
Have I been missing the white sand beaches all along?
It's near the banks of the bayou.
I love it, man. It's just like, and who doesn't? Like, even if you're the person from Thibodaux that's being interviewed or whatever you're doing, and they give you, they typically, you read that, dude.
I will tell you.
So anyway, I from now on, bro, yes,
replete.
The white Thibodaux is replete with white sand.
Yeah, we got to work that into every podcast.
Your favorite word. We are replete with wiener spaghettis.
People end up getting, and this is, I've worked in enough places where magazines will honor you, if you will, or do a feature on you for a fee. And that fee includes an article and lead into their magazine or whatever publication. And in all likelihood, there's another city that is just as replete as Thibodaux that actually has white sandy beaches.
Somewhere in the middle of Arkansas.
Yeah, and great parks.
Replete with white sand beaches and meth heads. I was talking about middle of Arkansas. Sorry, I wasn't talking about Thibodaux.
Yeah, not Thibodaux.
I ain't dumping on Thibodaux. Thibodaux's nothing personal. It's replete.
It's replete. Nice.
Right.
Have a replete day. Could you replete that, please, bro? My Cadillac converter was making too much noise. Couldn't hear you. Could you replete it?
Oh, I think you got Joe Rogan. Just circle it all back, man. Tighten that puppy. Bring it back. All right. I think, you know what?
Bring it home.
That was about the most replete episode I think we ever did. It was
at least replete.
It was the repletiest. I might have, the repletiousness of that podcast.
Next week will be repleter.
We'll be more even more repleter next week. I'm telling you. Tell you it's gonna happen. Okay, that's it. We love hearing from you. If you want to reach out to us beyond social media where nobody else can see it, it's Dave and Juan at protonmail.com. Mr. Semino, we have a replete selection.
Replete all over the place.
Of places that they can find us.
The YouTube, where you're watching this, if you are watching it, subscribe to the channel, click that little bell right there so you can get an alert every week when we post a new podcast. Share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, and anywhere and everywhere that you listen to podcasts, we're there. If you've heard of it, we're there. We're on Facebook, not their new podcasting program. Whatever they post, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Pandora, Podbay, Listen Notes. I'm sure there are a couple other places that have picked it up that we don't know about. They all want it. You go get you some.
Go get you some. Drop our names, half price. Half price. All right, everybody. Have a fantastical a week, replete with splendorous.
Yes. White sandy beaches and parks.
I'm going to hit the beach in Thibodaux when I'm there next time, man.
Yeah.
Oil up.
I can't believe I missed it yesterday.
That's right. That's it. How about you guys? You guys have a fantastic week. Mr. Semino, next week, what do you say? What time?
We'll do 7, but I'm going to give you a warning now. It's actually going to have been affected by now already because, we got time change next week.
That's
so
right.
it may still feel like it's 8:00, but it's really going to be 7. You'll be refreshed though, because you'll have gotten that extra hour of sleep.
There you go. You be replete.
Replete with freshness.
With freshness. Okay, I'm getting annoyed with it myself by now. All right, everybody. Anyway, have a fantastic one. You too, buddy. Love you, man.
Back at ya. I had the flashes on, bro.